No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
Jessica, and this is Daebak K-Rambles, where a couple of friends review Korean dramas, and we're back for another season 6 episode. We're gonna cover When the Phone Rings, and I got with me my friend Carol from the Kdramas Musings podcast. Carol, what is up? How are you? New year. What's going on?
Hi everyone. This is my first podcast recording of the year. I'm very excited to be here. I'm doing okay. I'm just getting off of a cold, so forgive my voice, but I'm doing okay. I'm ready to talk about When the Phone Rings. Listen, the show had me in a chokehold until it didn't. And I was telling Jess, I'm trying to figure out, am I going to go hard and be in defense of the show?
Yeah.
We'll see. Stay tuned.
So this episode came about because we were set to record an episode on Love Next Door. And what ended up happening was I dropped that show and Carol, you managed to finish it. And so we ended up getting together for a debrief episode on just the Patreon feed. And we had a lot of fun. We talked a lot of shit. And I was like, well, we have to do something else because I really do love recording with you. I want to get something up on the real feed for Daebak. And When the Phone Rings was taking the airwaves by storm. Everyone was watching When the Phone Rings. You were really excited about it and posting about it on social media. I was like, Carol, if I start When the Phone Rings, do you want to make that our replacement Love Next Door episode on the Daebak feed? And you said, yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, I almost didn't even finish When the Phone Rings. You were at one point, you got real quiet about When the Phone Rings on your socials. And I was like, this isn't looking good. And I messaged you and I was like, Carol, are you still on for that? Because I can push through and finish the show if you want to do the episode. And you were like, we don't have to. You were even like, we don't have to do anything. And I was like, are you sure? Long story short, we're here. We're going to do it. We have gathered some thoughts together about this show, about this experience, and we're ready to do a mini deep dive. I really don't expect us to be here for a 2-hour shindig, but here we go. But before we do all this, before we unleash, if this is your first time listening, go ahead and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. What an interesting episode to jump in on. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and many more. And if you like us, please give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. That goes such a long way for us to be discovered by other listeners just like you. Come check us out on social media, what's left of it, to stay up to date on our latest episodes and reviews. Right now, you could just find me on Instagram and Facebook, but RIP TikTok as of now, as of the time of recording, at Daebak Pod is where you can find me, DAEBAKPOD. You can always comment also on every episode in the Spotify app, which is really cool. Lastly, if you're a fan, the best way to be a fan is to become a patron. It's a great way for you to get involved and show your support. You can check out the page on patreon.com/DaebakPod. And here we go. Shout out to our patrons: Janet, Curtis, Bale, Cindy, CD, Alana, Grace, Lorna, Sammy, Caitlin, Julia number 1, Tanmei, Michelle, Marta, Delphia, Maria, Sarah, and Julia number 2. Thank you guys. Oh, and Pam, new patron. Thank you so much for being patrons. And thank you so much for all of the free patrons as well. All right. We're going to get into this, Carol.
Okay. I have a disclaimer.
Yes,
okay?
Go. Please. Any trigger warnings, disclaimers, anything you want to put at the front of this?
two things. Number one, if you do follow me on social media, by now you've seen the trend of me going so silent. It just, it could either mean I hate it, I'm embarrassed, I don't want to talk about it anymore, or it could be like just a personal experience for me. Okay?
Yeah.
Number two, this was a fever dream, and I stand on that.
Mm-hmm.
When the phone rings, was a fever dream that I am here to defend. So let's get into it.
All right. So the My Drama List synopsis reads, Park Seo-eun, the youngest presidential spokesman in Korea, comes from a prestigious political family. His background includes roles as a war correspondent, hostage negotiator, and news anchor. 3 years ago, he married Hong Hee-ju, a mute sign language interpreter and the adopted second daughter of a newspaper proprietor. Maybe you could say media mogul. I feel like that's a better way to say what her family is and does. Their marriage, based on convenience, has been distant and cold. However, when Hee-ju is kidnapped, their lives and relationship are changed. This show is adapted from the web novel The Number You Have Dialed by Kon Eul-mul. I hope I said that right. It has taken us by storm in just a few months, November 2024 through January 2025. It was airing, and I think it was delayed a few times because of, I don't know, the impeachment of the South Korean president, and some other factors have pushed some episodes into 2025.
Yeah.
Because it's only 12 episodes long. There really should be no reason why it was airing for 3 months, but here we are. It's directed by Park Sang-woo. He's also directed The Forbidden Marriage, Never Twice, and My Secretarius, which I really do want to watch My Secretarius. I've heard really good things about that one, and I personally liked The Forbidden Marriage. Mm-hmm. Have you seen this director's work before?
Yes.
All right.
I've seen all of it, and hit or miss, but generally I like it.
All right. This show is written by, or adapted, you could say, by Kim Ji-woon. She has written Melancholia, Dr. John, Hi, Jekyll, Me, and Cheongdam-dong Alice. When I saw she had written Cheongdam-dong Alice, I was like, ooh, what a throwback. That is a 2012-2013 show that I remember vividly dropping. Did you watch these shows?
I did. Cheongdam-dong Alice with Mung Go-eun, I believe her name was. Yeah, I watched it. I didn't drop it. Back then, I didn't know how to drop a drama. It just wasn't. Yeah. But Hi, Jekyll and Me, I watched it, and I think I liked it at the time. But I tried to watch it again recently, and I was like, oh, no. Okay. But I didn't watch Melancholia. It's not my genre.
This show stars Yeon-seok as Park Seo-eun. He's our male lead. He is 40 years old. I just want to say that because I feel like there's a movement online that's like, you can't have age gaps. You can't have people that are different ages. And I'm the first one to cry about an inappropriate age gap. He's 40 years old. No one said a word. No one said shit about him being 40. Chae Soo-bin is the female lead playing Hong Hee-ju. She's 30. That's a 10-year, double-digit age gap here.
Okay, 10 years.
10 years. No one said anything about it. But, like, the thing is, it's the same people that are salivating over this show with a 10-year age gap between the leads.
Yeah.
That bitch about the 4 years in 25-21. Between those two characters.
Well, if you think about 30 and 40, that's different from 20-something and whatever they were.
People were like, she's in high school, he's a grown man. I'm like, it's 4 years. Okay, I don't want to get into 25-21 because I feel like we did cover that aspect in the review for it. But oh, I wanted to say, we did cover Mr. Sunshine from 2018, which is a Yeon-seok drama. That is the best he's ever looked.
I was going to say I agree, but
Where are you drawing the line here?
I personally like him.
Okay.
I like Yeon-seok.
Okay.
In terms of the best, you know that I call it the mane of glory, the little mustache. That was sexy. That was hot.
Sexy. Yes.
That was really, really hot. But in this drama, I don't know whether it was just him wearing black. Maybe it was the whole, like, I don't know. It worked for me.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
worked for me.
Okay. That was a discussion that I was having in the DMs too, because I was like, I don't really get, I mean, he's a wonderful actor. I've seen him in Mr. Sunshine, Hospital Playlist, A Werewolf Boy movie from 2012 where he's just awful villain character. The Royal Tailor, The Beauty Inside, more of his movie stuff.
Yeah.
I vividly remember watching Reply in 1994 and thinking this guy's ugly.
No.
So we're here all these years later, over 10 years later, and I'm now realizing that people really think he's attractive.
You know,
that's why I was like, ooh, that's a swerve for me, but I swerve for me, but that's okay. I'm not going to yuck your yum, but it's surprising, especially now because he's, ever since Hospital Playlist, I feel people have been talking about him. He's around.
Yeah.
Circulating on the socials.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Great. Love to see it for him. Love that for him. But personally, he is baseline not my cup of tea.
Okay.
For me personally, please don't come for me and be like,
okay.
oh, how can you think that way? It's me, in my opinion. Okay. It doesn't do it for me. Except for Mr. Sunshine. Oh my God. I was losing my shit in Mr. Sunshine.
He was fantastic in Mr. Sunshine. He was amazing.
Performance wise, looks wise.
Just the outfits he was wearing.
No.
I think he is. I think a little bit more flesh works for me.
I feel that.
I'll just leave it at that.
I feel that. So I want to put that at the top. Chae Soo-bin, what's your experience with Chae Soo-bin, the female lead?
Ooh, I was gonna come on really strong, and I had to.
Yeah, I saw you check yourself. What happened there?
I remembered I gotta be politically correct. She's not my favorite.
Okay.
I do not like to watch her. In fact, I had no plans to watch this drama, so I didn't know anything about the drama when I hit episode 1 play. I was really watching for him, and I was like, you know what? Her expression is the same from episode 1 to 12, but it works for her character. So let's move on.
Okay. Let's just move on. I really loved I'm Not a Robot. And that's the thing that I remember her most from.
Me too. With yes. Yeon-seok.
Yes.
Yes, that was good.
That was good. So, What did you think about when the phone rings, Carol?
Okay. With the mind that it was a fever dream, right?
Okay.
I thought it was really entertaining.
Okay.
I will. Episode 1 to 4, I was just like, okay.
I'm following you.
It took me a while, but the endings always had me hooked to see what would happen next. So I was like, okay, I'll keep watching. And then we rolled up.
It's just the look on your face, the furrow of the brows. You're just looking, and then you're looking around the room like, where's the camera?
And I was watching this, and I was just like, I'm not even using my brain. There is so much drama in my real life. This makes my drama look like peanuts. So I'm enjoying it, right? And then we get to 5 and 6, and I'm like,
When the Nigerian comes out, I love it.
Didn't this guy say he's really smart? And what's going on? I don't know. No. Okay, Carol, just keep trucking along.
Right, rein it in.
It really episode 6.
Wait. No spoilers, not spoiler section.
Oh.
But you could say episode 6.
Okay, episode 6. Just we woke up in episode 7 and it was just episode 6 happened. I was just like, oh, you guys are taking me for fools. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, so I'm really sitting here. You didn't even give me memory loss.
I would have
What?
preferred memory loss.
I would have loved a little
Amnesia.
bit of amnesia. It would have felt like home. But you robbed me of a memory loss.
We're going to have to start there in the spoiler section, but I'll jump in here and say I started watching the show again, didn't know never read the webtoon, never read anything or knew anything about the drama. I just knew it was popular and people were really enjoying it. And Yeon-seok is a panty dropper. Oh, news to me. Okay. So I showed up episode 1. And again, I bring it up because in episode 1, he comes in with a flourish and he's the talk of this party. This isn't a spoiler, but people are going, oh my God, he's so handsome. And you can hear it in the bad English that they have circulating in this scene. And in the subtitles, they're also calling attention to the fact that he's so good looking. And I'm like, unfortunately, that's not working on me. Like to gaslight me into thinking that he's good looking. But okay.
The suits didn't work for you?
No, he looks great. He looks sharp. He looks fresh. Would I stop him on the street and be like, can I have your number? No.
Okay.
No. But again, personal thing. So I was already kind of like thrown with some of that gaslighting too. It's the same thing that if an obviously good-looking person is playing what's supposed to be an ugly character and everyone in the show is saying, God, they're so ugly. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's how I felt. Beauty. Yeah. True beauty. Anyway. Another episode you can scroll back to and listen to because that was another crazy one. But I'm already on guard here, like looking around. Where's the next thing that they're going to try and make me believe? And the thing is, I didn't have to wait too long. This plot is preposterous. It's ludicrous. This isn't a spoiler, but like she has selective mutism. That's the story in episode 1. And I'm like, all right. It's a thing. It's real, but already I'm like, this is going down a path that I don't think I want to follow. But after episode 1, I was like, you know what? Let me just shut my brain off.
Thank you. You critical thinking babes.
Yeah.
Just shut it off.
I'm like, you know what? Let me just shut it down. I'll watch this. And I was coasting through each episode. I did not think it was particularly amazing. I did not think it was binge worthy. I did not think that this was the best show in the planet. I did not think their chemistry. I've never seen this kind of chemistry before in my life. No. I was just chill. I was chill watching the show. Happy as a clam. Like it was a nothing show. Whatever. Then episode 6 happens. Oh. And I was like, if you guys aren't going to fucking take this seriously, like I almost shut off the whole show. I was like, you know what?
I remember. You DM'd me and she's like, Carol, explain yourself. I'm like, what do you want me to explain?
Because we had already agreed that we were going to do this episode review. And I was like, Carol, you need to talk me through this because I'm struggling here. I can't believe they did this thing. It really didn't improve after that for me. Then I stopped watching at episode 10. And I was like, okay, I'll watch other things like Squid Game. I'll finish watching No Game, No Love. I'll watch Spice Up Our Love. I'll watch anything but this until this thing finishes. And I got some time on my hands to finish out the show. Girl, when I saw the visceral reaction to the final 2 episodes, I busted a gut from laughing. I was so entertained by the uproar, the backlash, so to speak, to the final 2 episodes. And I was like, oh, now everybody thinks it's a bad show. And the thing is, I don't know if people have necessarily watched makjang before.
You know, that's a fair comment.
This show was a crash course in makjang.
Yeah, I agree. By like episode 11, people had taken enough ibuprofen and they were just like, hang on now. I'm getting some clarity.
I'm gaining enlightenment here.
Exactly.
What is going on? A lot of questions, very few answers, plot holes, that were really plot chasms. And a lot of people didn't seem to care about it until the final episode. I was genuinely shocked and enthused by the reaction.
I will say I was one of those people who, by the ending, I was absolutely pissed off. Not because I was just like, where's the growth of this character?
Talk about it.
Where is the sense with this character? You're supposedly a really smart go-to person, and then you pull I'm leaving to punish myself. What? I thought you said you wanted this person in your life and you want to spend time with them, and then you just ghost them because you feel so bad, and you knew your wife knows and she still chose you, and you still dipped, and then you're now dashing people money in this economy left and right, and you expect me to be okay with, like, I didn't understand why he ghosted her. I can sort of, I didn't like the whole job.
Let's keep non-spoiler section, so we'll talk about the ending in depth in the spoiler section.
My bad. I just got heated.
No, it's okay. We'll get real heated, I'm sure, in the spoiler section.
But I agree with you in that there were plot holes. I remember sitting in my couch and I was talking to myself, and I was talking to, like, I had two personalities. I was like, I can excuse plot holes, but I draw the line at incompetent police. And my other person is like, you can excuse plot holes? Girl, what the heck? The incompetent police just pissed me off. And that's when I was finally like, I'm not really liking this show. I don't like incompetent police. But somehow, plot holes are fine. So we move.
I have said this before, and I will keep saying it. I am a plot person. If the plot don't make no sense, I just don't coast by on vibes and aura. Like, that doesn't work for me.
I get you.
And the thing is, I can get interesting vibes, sexy vibes, whatever, from a TikTok edit, from a photo shoot that this couple does. And I can get that high from that. But if I'm sitting there to watch an hour-long show and it don't make no sense, you're telling me a story. Like, you're storytelling. That's what I'm here for. And the story is not making no sense. That's when I'm like, you know what? No. And I've said this before too. I'm not a makjang person. I got scared by The Last Empress. I got real scared. And this show gave Last Empress vibes. It's real makjang, and I don't think people were prepared for it. I don't know if it was necessarily marketed as such. I don't know what went wrong, but from episode 1 you could tell this was stupid. Like, it was gonna be unbelievable, and yeah, you have to suspend your disbelief, but up to what point?
Up to episode 6.
Up to episode 6. For me, it was episode 6. I wasn't going, this is a masterpiece, this is my favorite couple ever, and that's what I was seeing, like, everywhere.
I will never say they were my favorite couple, but I will say that personally, for me, when we are talking about top dramas of 2024, in my list, it's up there because it gave me something.
Yeah, I think it gave you more than it gave anything to me.
Exactly.
Which is why I was excited to cover it, because I was like, okay, Carol loves it. Fantastic.
I love it. And then I went silent. Yeah. I just feel like last year did not give. And to have that at the end of the year, and I love a makjang. I'm always seated for a makjang. But to have that at the end of the year felt it had me like dissing people out loud in my own space. It gave me a reaction, which is what I wanted, versus the trunk, which I didn't really react to it, like on social media especially, but that has been I've seen it 6 times now, but that has like constantly been on my mind where I'm thinking. So that was my plot, if you will. I know that's controversial.
That is controversial and it shouldn't be, but okay. That's fine.
But when the phone rings, gave me like crash out.
It was.
That's what it is. It allowed me to crash out and be like, yes, this is what I needed. So
there's a lot going on in this show, and actually like not that much going on too. But what was your favorite character? Like let's get some positives in here.
Oh, my favorite character. You know, maybe he was so annoying, but he was entertaining. The guy in his office who was like taking the couple pictures and giving him advice for his wife.
Right.
Like,
so that's Lim Cho-soo is that actor, and he's been in so many things, right?
yes.
Think Vincenzo, I remember him in that.
Yeah.
I feel like he might have been in Queen of Tears as well.
I think because of Vincenzo and his character in that, I really
he got
thought,
typecasted.
He did.
Yeah.
But I really thought he would turn out to be a bad guy in this one.
Oh.
Like, that's where my mind was. So by the end, when I was like, oh, he's just, I was like, well, that's wasted potential.
Right. Like, we're expecting a subversion.
Yeah. Give me something. But yeah, I think I liked him, and I liked the male lead because, well, he's a male lead.
Because
he gives good kissing scenes. I will not take that from him.
Yeah. No one's going to take that away from I will not take that away from him. He's a wonderful kisser. What was he doing? He was like doing them open mouth kisses in this show and just like eating her up. And yeah, that was great. Love it. Not going to complain about that. And she's got a good kiss as well in I'm Not a Robot.
A Robot. Yes.
That's a damn good kiss that she
Yeah.
has in that show too. So it's not like she's far behind Yeon-seok, but
yeah.
I would say my favorite character has to deal, well, it's two. It's the second male lead and the second female lead who ends up being the second couple in the show. Because I was like, let's stick with them. I think there's something there. And I was expecting more exploration of their romance and just fleshing that out more. And we're on like the 10th kidnapping and these two are like nowhere to be seen. And I'm like, but they're so compelling. And I don't know, there was something interesting about them. They don't get the time of day in this show.
That's true. The second male lead, there was one moment where I felt like, ooh, is this my bad guy? Like, this is what I mean by when I was watching this show, I wasn't watching with any kind of sense because I wasn't like forward thinking. I was going at the pace the show is telling me to go.
Okay.
In trying to figure out who the bad person or bad guy or girl is. So there was a point where I thought the second male lead, he tricked me, in my opinion. He was driving her from that orphanage or that rich people house in the car. And the way man turned and looked at her and said, I know you can speak or something like that. That moment was very threatening or foreboding to me. So I was like, ooh, is this my bad guy?
And that's how he's written, right? He's presumably going to be the second male lead, the love triangle between Yeon-seok's character, Chae Soo-bin, and then this guy who's Ho Nam-jun, that actor. He plays Sang-woo. And that would have been fine. That would have been perfectly adequate. And then they changed it and were like, is this second male lead actually the villain and in on this plot and somehow pulling strings and you don't know and he sort of knows too much and what's going on here? Why is he inserting himself in this investigation? And I don't know. And maybe the fact that he's a YouTuber, what was it? He was like a doctor YouTuber who would have workout videos of himself like shirtless and working out in the gym. And I'm like, okay, this guy exists. Like, first of all. Second of all, yeah, I can believe a YouTuber is sketchy and, you know, has this double life or whatever. All of that taken together, it was a lot of misdirections and red herrings. And he is a big red herring in this show.
I agree.
Did I hate it? not really, because it was almost like on the list of concerns, like he's way down here on the show. But once they kind of clear his name, I'm like, give me more. Like, I'm confused. He's fine as shit. Why am I here?
That's true. That's true. And honestly, even for the reporter or is she a reporter or like a news?
Yeah, she was like a news anchor.
Even for her, they could have turned up the makjang with her, like really going after him in front of her face, and she doesn't know she's the wife. And I guess I expected a richer reveal, like she's the wife. And yeah, they could have done.
It was just like a little wah, wah, wah with the second couple. Like everything about them was just
flat.
a little lackluster. For Jang Kyuri, that's the actress who plays Yuri, the news anchor.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought she was so nice and precious and refreshing, because I thought from episode 1 that she was going to be in this mean girl role, because she could have easily been the mean girl to Heiju.
Yeah.
And that just didn't happen. She was a lot more layered, and I liked this character a lot. And again, she's just shortchanged in this show. I feel shortchanged with them too.
You know what the show feels like? And I want to shout out Marisa from the K3, because I visited her and she had this book of all the Korean actors, and it was sort of like a portfolio to sell them to Hollywood. This really, like from beginning to end, it felt like a promo video for Yeon-seok to go on to bigger things.
Oh,
it really did.
100%. 100%, because I'm not going to fault the show for having a pretty good male lead who can act his way through a shitty script. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, like, that happens all the time. Yeah. Anywhere you go, Hollywood and obviously K-drama land, you can have a great actor spinning a bad script into gold. But to me, it's very telling that they're just doing the best they can off of a crap script.
Yeah, with what they've got.
With what they got. Like, he can give 110% and he's like doing something stupid, ridiculous. And that's the whole show. It's just a lot of ridiculous, and they're doing the best they can.
That's why I can't completely hate it, because they worked really hard. And I don't think I've seen that
I don't fault the actors.
True, it's a story.
Mess. They don't have anything to do with the script.
No.
They don't write it. They didn't write the web novel. They have really nothing to do with the issues that we're talking about, because unless they were acting shit,
yeah,
they did their job, right? Like, I'm not mad at Yeon-seok, Chae, Soo-bin, Ho Nam-jun, or Jang Kyuri. They showed up to work. Like, it's a paycheck for them. And they did what they were supposed to.
They did.
Park Jae-yoon, who plays the kidnapper, he showed up and did what he was supposed to do. He played crazy. He was chewing up scenery. He had these facial tics and shit. And I'm like, okay, I hope that check cleared, because he's doing it. He's doing it. He's showing up. It looks crazy, as it should.
That whole storyline was ridiculous.
I don't know if we can get into it right now, but did you have a least favorite character?
Least favorite character? Ooh, I don't know, actually. Maybe, no, I don't. Grandpa. The grandpa who died.
Okay, yeah, that's Jung Dong-hwang. He plays Paek Jang-ho. He's the patriarch who has giant portraits of himself and all of the properties the family owns. That guy, I knew he was, I knew he was a villain from jump, because he was the dad in The Heirs.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
He's never gotten off my shit list ever since The Heirs. I don't care that The Heirs is a bad show. Like, I consider it a bad show. It's not good. But he, again, did his job. He was terrible, vile, made everybody miserable. And I'm like, he's going to keep doing that.
Honestly, him and Hiju's mom, I feel like they deserve each other.
They do. Also, the sister.
The sister, I did like what she did was shitty. Yes.
We're going to have to talk about her a little.
She was useless.
Useless character.
Like the sister and Heeju's dad. I'm just like, what are you two people doing here? The story.
You're just taking up space.
Exactly.
Leave.
It can go on without you. Like, the sister coming back made no sense to me because I feel like the story would have progressed at the pace it would have even if she weren't there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The dad who's in the facility, Hong Hee-ju's dad.
Yes.
Another completely, like, I feel like a lot of characters, side characters, are just conduits to push this ridiculous plot forward, and they have like one line, and then they do one thing, and then they're written off, like basically written off the show because they've served their purpose. And that's not how I view characters. And so many characters, right? We just mentioned like 4 characters that do one shitty thing and it like makes everything fall apart. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Or they don't do a shitty thing, but they express some craziness or have a line that serves some function in this plot. And I don't think that makes a good character.
No, I don't think so too. Kind of like the secretary of
the like minion guy,
Peck Sound's dad. He had the most useless conversation that has ever happened in the history of K-drama, because I was just like, Heeju is leaving. Can I get into it?
Okay, you know what? Okay. Let's just rate the show out of 5 soju bottles, and then we're going to get into the spoiler section, and all bets are off, okay? I thought we went for the jugular in the non-spoiler section, but ooh, buckle up. So what would you rate this show out of 5 soju bottles?
I'd rate it a 4/5.
No! I can't believe it. So you would still rate it high?
I'm still rating it high. Rating it high because...
Just for the experience.
Yeah. What about you?
I would rate it 2.
Okay, what would you rate Queen of Tears?
Well, I haven't watched Queen of Tears, number 1.
Okay, then that's the end. Okay, that's it.
I'm not going to say, but I have several people in my DMs who, I don't know, quarterly tell me to watch Queen of Tears. I'm here to set the record straight. I don't think I ever will watch Queen of Tears. If you think that what I'm saying on When the Phone Rings is harsh, I don't think you want me watching Queen of Tears, okay? And again, I am not here to have a bad time, watch a K-drama that I didn't like. I tend to choose dramas based on if I will like them or not. Mm-hmm. And so I rarely drop dramas nowadays. I don't have high numbers of drops every year because I am choosy. I am curating what I watch.
You really taught me to drop dramas.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So at this point, I'm not about hate watching. Someone brought up Alchemy of Souls in my DMs too. They were like, I haven't felt this way since Alchemy of Souls. And I was like, I don't want to talk about Alchemy of Souls. That might have been my last hate watch. That was 2 years ago. I don't like to do that. Okay, to myself or to others now that I have a platform.
Yeah.
I don't like to hate watch. This wasn't necessarily a full-on hate watch because it was so crazy. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like, but yeah, it wasn't good. I did not have a good time generally. 2 soju bottles. I pretty much disliked it.
Okay.
But I found some merit in it. There was something to latch on to.
Okay.
And it wasn't the worst drama I've watched. It was not the worst drama I've watched. But it's pretty bad for like the current year, right? Like the current 2024, 2025.
But that's where I want to push back though, because 2024 was a shitty year for K-dramas. So I'm just like, nah, this was for 2024 standard. This was a really good show.
Okay. I see where you're coming from.
That's
the bar's low.
The bar was in hell. I'm sorry.
Okay. Enough. We're going to get into spoilers for When the Phone Rings right after this.
Excuse me, 뭐라고?
아이, 괜찮아.
You know, I have no 친구. Oh, sorry.
Swear, this crossing shells.
What?
All right, we're on the other side of spoilers, Carol. I'm just gonna set you loose, really. Like, what do you want to talk about?
Okay. First of all, back to the useless conversation that I mentioned with the secretary.
Okay.
So we see Hee-ju leaving, and so she came to her in-laws to say, find my man.
Yeah.
And then
she's like, do something. And
do
they were like, we'll take it into consideration. It's like wild
Honestly.
work. Yeah. And at this point, she doesn't know that he's not their biological son.
Exactly. So secretary comes out, he follows her, and he's like, what else does he know about the kidnapper? And when he came into this house, he had surgery and his eye, like they fixed up his eye and he doesn't remember. And I was just like, now hold on, are you telling me that he's the twin of the kidnapper? Like, what was the point of that conversation? You just confused, babe. So, when I watched that, I was like, you know what, Carol? Just hold your horses. Maybe next episode, they'll do like a flashback of the conversation and give it context. No, context context was not in the room with us.
Yeah, that was a road closed type of clue that they dropped there. It was like, ooh, I drove to the end of this. Where's the rest?
Where is the rest? And who were you talking about? Because Mr. Kidnapper still has mismatched eyes, eye colors. So I was just like, oh, you wasted my time for free? Oh, okay. Okay, let's move on to the next clue.
Yeah, it was because he made a point of stopping her.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, he had a surgery to change his eye color. Blah, blah, blah.
Who had the surgery?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Don't make no sense.
I was really pissed off with that. And I know, like, in the grand scheme of things and, the number of plot holes, it's really nothing. But you
wanted to talk about it.
That one I wanted to talk about because you wasted my goddamn time.
Oh. I wanted to say this quote from Time magazine. When I saw this article, I was like, Time magazine is writing about when the phone rings? So here is what it says. The story of two people overcoming issues of communication to be together. This may be highly relatable, but the story elements are intentionally taken to the makjang extreme. Then they have in parentheses, the descriptor makjang is applied to a Korean drama that stretches its depiction of reality, putting its characters in increasingly extreme situations that heighten the stakes and emotions, and populating its world with toxic characters who often act contrary to any known system of logic. I spit up my water when I saw they're just defying logic. That is what a makjang is.
Yeah.
They go on to say, When the Phone Rings is one of the best makjang dramas we've gotten in a few years, with a plot driven by kidnapping, murder, contract marriages, arson, fake deaths, assumed identities, and political intrigue.
No, it's not. Okay. Okay, I don't want to shade anybody, but of late, these writers, these reporters, they are writing out of thin air. I'm just like, me and you, we watched that show. What you're saying is not what was in the show. And I'll leave it at that.
This show, I think a lot of people classed it as a guilty pleasure.
It is a guilty pleasure. I'd say that too.
I think it started all right. Like, episode 1 is crazy. The writing is on the wall in episode 1. But it starts out kind of intriguing. Like, this whole thing is masquerading as an enemies to lovers, because at the end of the episode, you find out she can fucking talk. She has the ability to speak, and she's speaking in a kidnapping scenario.
Mm-hmm.
She is mad as shit. She's angry with him with what you overheard on the phone. Because he said, like, bring me a body or something like that. I can't even remember what the line is. She loathes him, and she starts with her blackmail shit.
Which was
half-baked at best. Yeah. It was, homegirl was in over her head.
How are you taking pictures of your thigh? Are you saying you're cheating? Like, what was up? What was up with that?
It was really one of the worst plans I've ever seen.
Yeah.
She didn't take 2 seconds to think it through.
No.
Of course, the phone is tracked. Everything she does on it is being recorded. Like, I was confused. Like, she just thought, oh, I'll pick up this phone and continue this and get out of this marriage. I was literally like, all right, let's turn up, I guess. Go off, sis. Like, okay.
Which was so wild to me because I said, wait, is he not the one who said she's so clumsy and he can see right through her? Maybe he has selective vision, but he did not catch on at any point.
No.
Even at the point where she's on the roof talking into the phone.
No, honestly.
I was just like, now, hold on.
That was me the whole show. Like, wait. Because, wait, what?
The other major gripe I had was I remember a conversation, and I don't know what episode it was, but I remember Paek-seon talking to Heeju and saying, oh, the sister must have seen younger Paek-seon, and that's why there was a hit on the brother. And so I swear that conversation happened. So at the end, when he asked, oh, does Heeju know? And he disappears, I was like, no, but you already knew Heeju knew. So where did you go? Like, what happened to that whole conversation you had with her? And yeah.
It was miscommunication even after they learned how to communicate.
100%.
What is that?
The only thing they know how to communicate on is to kiss each other. And, you know, I felt like this show overcompensated with that because it felt very much, okay, the audience is getting pissed off that this doesn't make sense. Throw in a kiss.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just have a dream of a kiss. Yeah.
A dream of what could be if they were communicating from day one.
I swear, Joseph did not have that many dreams in the Bible. Like, I was just like, okay, another dream and another dream.
Ay, Dios mío. No, it's embarrassing, really. It's embarrassing, the like montages and things. And
it could have been 8 episodes.
What a tease. Like, this whole show is just a tease.
It is a tease. It is a tease.
And then, like, he didn't, the whole miscommunication thing, he married her. And this was a whole reveal. Like, that wasn't really a reveal. You obviously knew he had the hots for her. He loves her, likes her. Definitely knew about who he was asking for, right? When he swapped sisters in the contract marriage. It was no surprise. I was like, I'm not surprised here.
Yeah.
He just didn't get to know her at all during the 3 years of their marriage because why? He didn't want to pressure her into a relationship that he thought she felt trapped in, which, yeah, of course you'd feel trapped if you're not telling me
what's going on.
Shit, like, you know? So it was just a prison of his own making.
True, but the show also established that Paek-seon had no relationship experience. Like, he was clueless when it came to relationships.
And the thing is, I'm looking at their professions as well.
Yeah.
He is a erstwhile war correspondent, maybe a foreign operative. I don't fucking know. Like, they just like threw everything at the wall that he could do. He was basically Jason Bourne by the end of this whole thing. And currently he's a spokesperson for the presidential office. Great. That means he's dealing with people all day long, fielding questions, taking interviews, talking to the press. And his whole thing is communicating. That's his whole job, is to communicate a message and do it in a proper way, in a way that makes sense to the Korean public. So I'm like, okay, he is communicating all day long.
Yeah.
And he has no other problems with even other family members, like his fake, father and mother. He's telling it like it is. He's constantly butting heads with them and communicating that he's not going to just go along with their plans. And when it comes to Heeju, he can't seem to get any word in edgewise.
Well,
and I'm confounded by the fact that it took. First of all, they grew up together. They were basically neighbors. Never says anything. When they're married and living in the same house, again, never says anything. I feel like it's just the toxic nature of how he got her into the marriage in the first place.
Yeah.
Of just like, let me just trap her. I'm doing it out of the best of intentions. I think she's got a terrible home life. She's about to be married off to some skis-ball who's going to treat her badly. I'll just marry her. Fine. Keep the good intentions. But after he's got her in the house, and he's setting up all of these boundaries and putting up walls and things between them, okay, Beast, like, let's talk about it. This is very Beauty and the Beast.
True. And I also believe that he really couldn't see past what he felt he was supposed to be doing, which is, I do think I'd characterize him as a very narcissistic person, because he's just so consumed with himself. And this whole thing of, you were not part of my plan. Like, man is tunnel vision, focused on, at this point, I can't even remember what the revenge was.
I was confused about his revenge plan too. Was it just like, I'm not going to be part of your presidential
ticket
candidacy and involved in any way and speak good of you? Was that the end all be all of his revenge? Just to not let the father become the president and use his clout?
Oh, it couldn't have been just that. Maybe it had to do with just like bringing the whole family down and revealing his identity. Especially with the the ring that he put back on his dying grandpa at that point. He thought he was the grandpa, and he was like, I need some dirt. I want to know what the hell's going on. I want to know who I am. Maybe I can get something out of it if I insert a camera into this signet ring and put it back on this man wheezing in the ICU. Maybe that had something to do with the revenge. But again, it's never really laid out A to B to C. It's always just like, I guess I have to infer here how he wants to raise this thing to the ground. But even so, I didn't feel like he was particularly gung-ho on any sort of revenge. No. And also, I feel like by the time he was putting the ring on Grandpa, he knew that was his dad, not his.
It's so ambiguous. It's not like he had a moment where he was like, I know I'm your son. I'm going to put this ring back on you because I think shit's going to go down, or I'm going to get something else out of you. No word about that, really. No clues there.
I don't like this feeling of making me question why I rated it a 4 out of 5.
Well, the thing is, they had a lot. Okay, so the good stuff about this show is basically whenever these two, the female lead and the male lead, are trapped in a room together, sparks fly, I guess. And there was at one point he like tried to pull up her skirt to see her mole or something that she had on her, the birthmark. And she was like, oh, stop. Like, it was very like, okay. It's very kind of icky because she obviously doesn't want him touching her. Yeah. She doesn't want him to pull up her skirt. It's very sexual assaulty, a little whiff of sexual assault in here. And people were salivating over the scene. They were like, oh my God, he's so sexy. He just got done getting roasted in this weird fire that the kidnapper found his location and it exploded his secret office.
See, but like, I did not like that scene. But in that scene, I would have been asking hard questions because you have a bodyguard with this woman. You know her schedule. When does she have the time to go have an affair and take a picture of her thigh and post it up? And just even the POV, like, I just felt like critical thinking wasn't part of the character's skill set.
There was not even thinking at all. Anyway, he was trying to look up her skirt and see the birthmark, or if there was a birthmark, to basically fact check the kidnapper on the phone.
Yeah. And then she's shocked that he's doing it. And I'm just like,
why would you be shocked?
Why are you shocked? You sent him the photo.
It was such a stupid thing. Like, to send her, like, she sent him, like, a boudoir photo and expected him to just take it and not, like, do any further investigating.
Yeah.
Because he obviously, at this point, he's clueless, doesn't know that's his wife on the phone.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh my God, does the kidnapper really have... But the angle, everything about the photo makes zero sense. And her retrying to take the photo. I'm like, bitch, give it up. Like, yeah.
Even the mom who gave her the lingerie, she wasn't even committed to. I was just like, what's your angle? What's your point?
Because I guess she was like, oh, I have 2 rabbits stuck in a cage together. I have to get them to breed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, this whole charade is null and void.
So she is the real mom of Heeju.
Yeah.
And she got with dad, and she dumped dad. And I guess this is me making up the story. I guess she moved into the house of the chairman.
Oh, it was very the heirs coded.
Yeah, it was very heirs
because
coded.
He had a mistress living in the house. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Were they actually married and she was the official stepmom to his 2 biological kids?
No, I was thinking more, she came in and the older Haeyeon's mother died, and then she's sort of like a caretaker who has her daughter living in the house, just like heirs. And then it turns into something more, and she becomes sort of like a stepmom to Haeyeon, and Heeju is her daughter.
I just couldn't quite wrap my head around the fact that the dad, Heeju's stepdad, left her in the house, knowing everything that she had been coercing her biological daughter Heeju to pretend to be mute, have selective mutism, to maintain her position in this house.
It didn't make sense.
And the dad knew the whole thing the whole time. And he didn't say shit. Like, that family does not care about Heeju.
No.
Nobody in that family cared about Heeju at all. Because
don't.
Otherwise the dad would be like, hey, I know we're sleeping together every night. I think you can let your daughters talk now.
Right?
I'm not going to kick you out. Like, again, what does it cost for some people to open their mouths and communicate? Because I really don't understand why the secrecy. Why would he keep that secret? I'm sure I can understand the stepmom, Heeju's mom, keeping it up for 20 years. But what's with the dad? So the dad hates Heeju?
Yeah,
Is he getting a kick out of seeing them squirm and try and tiptoe around him with this lie? I don't get that at all.
It fell flat. Yeah.
So many things. But yeah, like, people were just gravitating, I guess, toward the skinship in the show.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's episode 2 where this is post the first kidnapping, and she has some bruising on her neck and like a cut and stuff. He drags her into some dark room and pins her up against a wall and is like inspecting her neck and stuff. That shit, it is K-drama crack.
It is.
At this point in episode 2, it worked, right?
It did.
Yeah.
It's book talk magic.
Exactly.
Like, that's what...
Exactly. I'm not going to fault the show for that. But like the whiff of sexual assault on the latter one that we had been talking about the mole inspection. Yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily classify that as sexy. Sure, he looks good. But you can see me disassociating like further into the more deeper into the show. I
remember after like episode 2 calling him a green flag.
No, you didn't.
I did. Was it episode 2 or maybe on a later episode? Because like you said, immediately you knew he loved her.
Yeah, he cared for her for sure.
Yeah, he cared for her. And I just think there was one scene that I appreciated, which he didn't really even go all the way, when they were lying in bed at one point and he's like, just forget everything that you heard and that was said or something like that. I thought that was the beginning of an apology. He could have definitely gone all the way with an apology or an explanation, but it goes back to that lack of communication between them. But even with that, she seemed content with that explanation. And I was like, okay, if it works for you, girl, it will work for me, whatever. But I just found there were moments of sheer panic from him at the thought of danger coming to her.
Yeah,
And
that's good stuff. Sure.
Those were the moments I really enjoyed because I just felt like his face, he was very expressive. You could see fear, you could see anger. I was like, okay, Yeon-seok, do something here. You've been given something. Go off. Yeah. So I liked those scenes, but
that's not bad stuff at all. No, I'm not complaining about that stuff. It's plot related stuff, and the show functions best when I guess you were watching it as it's airing, because you do get that break where you can come up with theories.
Yeah.
About the show, where it's headed, who's who. And that's what's fun with the groupthink aspect of social media, is you read a theory and you're like, oh my God, I agree, or no, I don't agree, or, you know, something actually being right. Like you make a theory and it's right. It turns out to be right. That's the fun, I guess, of watching this unhinged show.
Yeah.
I don't watch shows when they're airing, so I'm completely removed from this. I don't really get a thrill necessarily out of making theories about the show. I don't necessarily thrive off of the theories, and I feel like people were really excited to come and talk about the show and like who's the killer and who's the you know, who owns the phone, and the second male lead, he's shady and all this stuff. I get it. I don't subscribe to that. I asked on Instagram for people to give me their thoughts, concerns, topics they wanted us to cover on this podcast. Some people said, great couple. He looks great in a black shirt.
100%.
But yeah, fine, sure. Argan plotline super weird. Last 2 episodes look ridiculous and weird. It seems like makjang easy to watch. Actually, what's bothering me, how is the kidnapper so smart to control the female lead's car? Unless I missed something. I stopped trying to find logic and just enjoy the story without paying attention to some details. Truly messy show. I think they pulled off being compelling and sensational at the beginning, but the writing relied so heavily on being sensational instead of writing their characters to be logical. Maybe this is just the makjang way. Someone else said, cheese fest. All of these things are true. Someone said, so much wasted potential, plot holes galore, and an absurd ending. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. This was a funny, I love when people read a lot into it. As in like they're squeezing milk out of an almond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get almond milk. And this person said, Pik-seon is a man of his words. Haeju is a woman of her actions. They were talking about the journey that Haeju goes on, which is, you know, she was faking being her own kidnapper and blackmailing her husband to give her a divorce. Then she transitions to trusting and loving him unconditionally and protecting him at all costs, even with a knife at her throat at the, 10th kidnapping, so on and so forth. And that's fine. Like, yeah, that's a journey. Did I care? No. That's my point. It's like, for me personally, man, I didn't give a shit.
I feel you.
Are there any other complaints that you had about the show before we go into the last 2 episodes? Well, let's talk about the sister real fast.
Okay.
This girl comes back from overseas. She was MIA. They didn't know where she was for 3 years. Fucked off on her wedding. Leaving Haeju to clean up the mess and be the substitute. Fine. We now know that Pik-seon orchestrated this whole thing, was in cahoots with the sister, and like requested Haeju to be his bride. Fine. She comes back. Yeah, I did not like this character. I didn't like how they miraculously found some surgical cure to fix her vocal cords or whatever damage was done during the accident as a child. She never learned how to use sign language in all of the, I don't know, 20 years that she was mute.
No, she wasn't mute. She was hard of hearing.
Oh, was it hard of hearing? Oh, man,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, she would be mute because she can't hear.
Was she mute?
No. I think it was hard of hearing. She lost her hearing. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. But anyway, surgical cure to fix her ears and her hearing, and she never learned sign language in all those years.
Nope.
And I'm like, how much of a selfish, self-pitying bitch do you have to be to not only not refuse to learn that you're silencing yourself at that point. You had 20 years to learn how to sign. She doesn't. And instead, she's holding out hope that she can just miraculously get cured. And she does. They give it to her. She does get cured. And then when she comes back and talks to Heeju, she's like, Teehee, sorry, I knew that you could speak all of these years. And you made yourself be silent just to keep me company in my miserable state. Because I needed to bring somebody down here with me.
That was trash.
And experience this calamity, even though you didn't need to. Whether out of guilt or some misguided idea that you're going to get kicked out if you're whole. Let's be friends. That was the whole speech
that was her,
at the aquarium.
Yep. That was her arc.
Actually, she didn't even say sorry. She was just like, I knew that you could speak.
Oh
but
God.
Now I can speak, so all is well. All is forgiven. Let's pick up where we left off. And I'm like, fuck you, bitch. What the fuck do you mean?
No, she was a horrible person.
Just so selfish.
She was very selfish. And I actually felt bad for her because she has a look of, I'm going to be a bitch in the show. And so you're always anticipating her to do something shady, something that will harm Heeju, etc. And then she's just like, no, I'm endearing. I just want to be friends. I love my sister. I've always wanted a sister. I just don't like her mom. It's just fell flat for me. Because, I don't fault her too much for being a kid and pretending because she wanted someone to go through the pain with her. I really don't fault her for that because
At her big
kid,
age, though.
How old was she?
She was older than Heeju.
No. When they had the accident, they were kids.
Oh, yeah. When they had the accident, they were kids.
Yeah, but as they grew up.
That's what I'm saying. Is like at her big age.
That's true. She should have fixed it a long time ago.
Where's the apology? Like, you went to college. Like, your frontal lobe is fully developed.
That's true.
Where's the come to Jesus moment?
Which to me tells me that she isn't a good person.
No.
If you were a kid, let's say you were like up to 14.
She was like a preteen, the older sister was, when she lost her hearing.
Oh, she's not a good person. We can't defend her in any way.
I can see maybe keeping it up until you're, I don't know, in high school.
Yeah, I can't. No.
There's just no empathy coming from Hongina, that character. And I couldn't get behind her character. I couldn't get behind anything she did. Even the apology at the end of the show, I was like, 11th hour.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I felt like she shouldn't have come back.
And Heeju is such a old school female lead.
Right?
Yes.
Being gaslit by everyone, even to the point of shouting, "Stop gaslighting me." I'm like, bitch, you knew they've been gaslighting you.
Like, she's stupid and naive and very warm-hearted, innocent at heart, and did everything just to be loved, and ain't no love coming from anybody in that family. Just got bamboozled and hoodwinked into shutting up for 20 years.
Yeah.
That type of female lead, that's very 2006.
Yeah, I agree.
2024 we're getting this lead and everyone's like, oh my god, poor Heeju, poor this. I'm like, this is very old school of a characterization. And something else about Heeju is that when she was signing, she was very animated. She was very feisty. She had a lot of gumption. And she was serving attitude and getting angry and things at people when she's signing at them. When she stops signing, it's almost like all of those qualities go away.
And that's why man said he enjoys. That's why he said he enjoys the Heeju that was on the phone with him.
Matter of fact, they had to address it in the final episode. In the final 2 minutes of the show, they had to address this crazy character switch that happened when she stopped signing. She lost a whole bunch of personality traits. And he had to come and tell her, like, hey, I want you to get angry with me. I want you to tell me what's going on and communicate. I want you to nag me. And I'm like, does that fix it? I don't think so. But okay, great on you for putting the stipulation here in your marriage for her to open up a bit more, because she was pissed when she was signing.
She was. And, I hadn't even thought of that. I think I was just focused on when she could speak, she was letting him have it. And she definitely made him nervous or made him pay attention. But when she didn't speak, it was just like, oh, this is the Chae Soo-bin I know. And
yeah.
This is why I don't watch her. But surprisingly, in like press tours and whatnot, she's very spunky. Like Chae Soo-bin, the actress. So I was just like, sis, why are you always so dull?
Yes, it's just so dull. Every time she wasn't on the phone and she wasn't signing, it was like she was a non-playable character. Like she just like, where did she go?
Yeah, like a Sims character, just stuck and waiting for
him to save her, because I can't lost count of how many times that she was
kidnapped,
waiting to be saved. I mean, you fucking name it. Like they did it to this girl. Let's talk about episode 6, because we mentioned episode 6 before the break. So what had happened was they went hiking as a group activity in the presidential spokesperson's office. This turned into an office romance. I do not like office romances, I have to say. So when it turned out that she was starting to work with him, alongside him, interpreting for him, I was like, another thing that I can't, just rubs me the wrong way.
Oh.
They go hiking with the rest of the group. And the guy that you mentioned, Lim Chul-soo, who plays like the office manager or something.
Yes.
Okay, so that guy, he's in there for comedic relief. But he was climbing that mountain and he was huffing and puffing. He had 2 walking sticks. People were like, wow, this is really hard to climb up the mountain. This is my train of thought. I was like, I feel seen, because I fucking hate hiking. And
100%.
I'm always that person who is 50 steps behind, always falling behind. I almost died in the canyon in Las Vegas doing like a fun little hike. Yeah, the fuck not. Hills and shit and rock scrambling. No, you're going to get a different Jessica. It's a mess. I am a sight to behold. And when I saw that character, the office manager, I was like, oh my God, you never see this in the K-dramas where someone's actually struggling to do one of these mountain hikes.
That's true. Hate hiking.
I hate hiking. And then they come to the lookout point. He gets inundated with fans trying to take selfies. He gets her shit rocked. She gets pushed off of this lookout point. It's a sheer drop. She falls off a mountain. It's basically a cliff.
Ugh.
And I'm like, oh my God, she died. Like, I was like, there's no way she survived that fall. Not only did she survive, she thrived. She had no broken bones, nary a scratch. She was fine. Babe,
no
people
concussion.
break ankles just missing a step on the stairs.
Oh.
It was hard on me. This is the point where I said, you know what? I don't have to finish this show. They're not taking this seriously. This is insulting. That they would even think that I would suspend my disbelief that this girl would survive a severe fall. They were so serious when he's trying to find her, calling her and getting her to call him on the kidnapper's phone and where are you? And this roundabout thing and him like traversing the mountain at night by himself. It was done sincerely.
It really was.
And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. He was like just beside himself, wanting to save her, couldn't get to her.
Oh,
you've got to be joking.
Listen, I loved seeing him in pain, seeing him in anguish, seeing him desperate. I loved that. But I also understand what you're saying.
Oh my God. When episode 6 happened, I shook my head. I was like, no, we can't keep going. They have all this great hospital like time and he's taking care of her and he never left her side. And I'm like, she should be dead. She should be in a body bag. I was beside myself. So then episode 6 happened. I checked out full. I was like, there's nothing they can do that's going to be like worse than this because we've reached a big low here. Oh my God. The unraveling the spaghetti in the last 6 episodes to figure out who the real kidnapper was and how Park Do-jae, who was his right-hand man, was like the kidnapper and hacker extraordinaire. And that he was a twin at the orphanage school who lost his twin back in the day, presumably from the murders that happened. And I mean, it escalates from there.
Yeah.
I was messaging you going, how the fuck did Park Do-jae, the right-hand man, fall ass backward into enlisting the real murderer, aka the real Park Seon, into being his puppet and exacting this revenge and kidnapping ploy?
That was not it.
And then I was like, how did even Park Do-jae get all of this information about the murderers? Because that was under lock and key. That family let none of that slip of who was the real culprit. And there was no police investigation. Did he sniff the leaves? Did he put his ear to the ground and just the earth told him? Like, I'm confused about how even that dude got his intel.
Because no one gave it to him.
No one gave it to him. He just divined it, figured it out.
Yeah.
But how?
Maybe his brother who had died visited him in a dream and told him. And, you know, the show could have gone with that and we'd have to believe it. But that didn't make sense. And then and they tried to explain why he got together with the real Park Seon. And I was just like, this is so lazy. Like, what are we doing?
So they let that guy go, like the real Park Seon / kidnapper. They let that guy go, I don't know, half dozen times. He escapes after kidnapping people and clobbering them over the head and lots of attempted murder here. I don't understand why the real kidnapper was mad at the fake Park Seon. Like, that seemed a little misguided because obviously
that's not the guy who
that's
killed.
not the guy you should be exacting your revenge on. Like, I don't know why he chose Park Seon, Yeon-seok's character, as his target, because that kid had nothing to do with the switcheroo that happened and you almost dying.
I think Park Do-jae really thought Park Seon killed his brother.
Yeah. But I'm like, how'd you get that name? No
context.
No, nothing there. He's just like, I thought it was you and you were my main suspect and I had to figure out if it was you. And so I hatched this kidnapping plan with The real guy, they like tried to explain it. They were like, oh, he was coming out of the office building, talking crazy, threatening Pixon, and he was like, okay,
"Ooh,
perfect blunt
the
instrument
enemy
to
of my-"
use in this stupid plan. I was just floored.
Yeah, I agree with you. It was very much the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I think that's what they were trying to go for.
Absolutely.
And I feel like man was on a fool's errand. Like his whole life was a joke. And I just felt so bad for him. I feel like if he had partnered with doctor/YouTuber,
Oh,
that would make more sense because Mr. YouTuber had something to work off
he
of.
had incomplete files, but at least he had a memory to go off of. And
Yeah.
he was like, oh, I saw this kid and I played with him.
Yeah. And the
weird
kid was
abandoned
weird.
house. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the other part is, why couldn't young Pixon be outside? And why was it such a huge secret, like someone had seen him as
Because
a
he
kid?
had sociopathic tendencies and they were like, ooh, he's killing the squirrels. We need to lock him away. And then the lock and key was nothing to this little murderer because he went out to the local orphanage and was really having a ball. Like I think he took out like 4 kids.
Yes.
And they knew about it because they were consistently getting rid of the bodies.
It's wild.
So
It's
I was
wild.
like, wow. Like, what else? What else?
And I think the thing that drove me nuts a little bit, one of the very few things that drove me nuts, is, you know, when you watch that show with Lee Joon-gi where he takes the place of the murderer.
It's not Flower of Evil, right?
Flower of Evil.
Oh,
Yes.
it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is Flower of Evil. So in Flower of Evil,
Mm-hmm.
he is very much like, you see the parents actively covering their kids' tracks and whatnot. But in this show, the parents don't really cover his tracks. They're not invested. It was Grandpa who was invested in covering everything, and they were just hating on Grandpa. So even the real Pexalon's parents weren't as invested in their son. And it just made it feel like you're such a lazy villain. I don't even understand, because they didn't even know that Heeju's dad had a deal with Grandpa. Like, they were just in the show like we were watching. Clueless.
Oh, but, going into the final 2 episodes, that mom lost her shit.
She did.
That mom lost her ever-loving shit. And
She crashed out.
I was not following her line of logic.
Thinking.
And maybe you're not supposed to. She was just mad. She was mad at the old man, the grandpa,
Yeah.
that he hoodwinked her into raising his own child. Because that's who Yeon-seok's character is. We don't know who his mom is, but his daddy is the grandpa character.
Yo, I was waiting for the show because she hated him
And that was a
so
theory,
much.
too, that people had. You had this theory, too.
Yes. I was waiting for the show to tell me that maybe Grandpa sexually assaulted her and the fake Pexon is actually her son.
That's why she loathed the old man.
Yeah. So I was just...
She was spitting on his portrait and shit and just...
Yo! She was doing the
ready to rock.
most.
Yeah.
She killed him. So I just felt like, okay.
To even be mad after years later that you stuck a pillow in his face and he died at your hands, she still don't feel like he's gotten
what he deserves.
the punishment. Yeah, what he deserves.
Yeah.
She's still spitting on him and kidnapping some innocent girl here. She kidnaps Heeju. It's all to fuck with Pexon, Yeon-seok's character, the fake Pexon.
Okay.
And I'm just like, what was her long con was literally, I'm going to keep this girl hidden for 20 years. Same as my son was missing for 20 years, whom I thought was dead. And I'm going to make sure Yeon-seok is in pain. He's suffering. He thinks his beloved is dead. And then I'm going to pull the rabbit out of the hat, and here she is. You've lost 20 years of time together.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this doesn't seem... It's very much the same as Hee-ju calling you Yeon-seok every night. Half-baked.
Yeah.
Intriguing plot. Intriguing thought, lady. But 20 years? You think you could keep this up for 20 years?
Yeah. No. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So who would you say, which character made sense on the show?
Which character made sense? I would say the dad, like the presidential hopeful dad.
Okay.
Because he was pretty, not easy to read, but I would just say he made sense. He made sense. He
That's
was
true.
focused on being the presidential candidate, on winning that. He's highly irregulated. Everything about him is irregulated. Can't control his emotions. He's violent. Has outbursts. And I was like, yeah, I get that guy.
I think I got him and I got Ha Nam-joon.
Yes, the second male lead.
Yeah, the second male lead. Those are the only two people I got. Hee-ju's dad, I did not know. I didn't get him at all.
That stepdad like hated her. I'm convinced. Because he condoned it basically for 20 years.
Yeah. And then has she can talk.
Oh God. So, and I have my notes because I went apeshit taking notes on episodes 11 and 12. None of the other episodes I have notes for, but 11 and 12, I was like, let me sit down here and watch this and write some notes down. I have here, is she out of her fucking mind? If something happens to her, these were her instructions, right? The mom's instructions were, if something happens to her, she has the secretary / bodyguard. I can't even say it. Save my murderous son and kill Hee-ju.
No sense whatsoever.
No sense. No sense at all. She was like, I'm still going to go for the revenge and I'm still going to be behind my son, who's literally murdered like 4 or 5 innocent children, a couple of people, I think fully grown adults, I think, during the course of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Just completely unhinged, cannot redeem him or just medicate away this sociopathic murderous tendency. Let him out, let him free, and kill this innocent girl. I just don't understand. Like, the beef that she had was so deep, and for what?
Nada. Just, yeah.
The fucking underground chamber with the 2 bank vaults.
Oh my gosh.
And the assistant, the secretary opens it with a key that slots into the lock on the old man's portrait, and the lock was his signet ring. I have in my notes, what in the parasite, in all caps.
I was expecting, I don't know why I was expecting that too, but the way the secretary was going hard for mom, I thought he was going to be the father of the real Pekson. Mm-hmm. And maybe they had an affair. Like, there's so many ways.
And the thing is, what's sad is you're coming up with better makjang. That's what's true. Sad, is that probably both of us can sit here and spitball a better show that's even more outrageous, but it works better than what we got.
That's true. That's true. But maybe that's what was sustaining me, because my active imagination was just running wild with, ooh, this could happen and this could happen. Mm-hmm. And then I just get disappointed. Like,
and then you're just like, oh.
Oh.
I got mad when the secretary lets Hee-ju out.
Yeah.
Which I felt like was very Snow White, right? Snow White and the Huntsman type of deal, where like the huntsman's like, she's after your heart, run away. And very much Snow White coded. So she gets out. And I'm like, okay, so she's been starving herself for 4 days in there.
She has energy.
And her hair looks perfectly clean. Her skin is moisturized. And it just wasn't computing. If I don't get out of bed for a day, I look like shit. She was locked in a bank vault, basically, for 4 days. Was not eating, barely drinking. She looks like she came out of the salon.
She did crash her car. and then was taken.
Yeah. She crashed into the fucking barrier. So, where's the neck brace? Like, I was just like, oh my God, this show. I just don't understand why the cop was like, I'm going to follow closely behind you.
Oh,
I was like, okay, great. Got it. Noted. That cop was 15 minutes behind them.
yeah, he was.
What protection? What police protection?
That's what I mean by incompetent police. I cannot do it.
And then this fucking guy, Yeon-seok's character, once the real Paek-sun comes up with a shotgun or a rifle and is taunting them from outside the vehicle, I'm like, okay, perfect. Yeon-seok is going to step on the gas and run this guy over. That was in my mind. That was like, okay, this is what's going to happen next. No. That's not what happens. Yeon-seok gets out of the car. And I was like, just run him the fuck over. You have a 1.5 ton vehicle. He's not going to brace himself and make it, okay? It was baffling that choice for him to get out of the car and face off against him one-on-one. Enough time for the cops to come and surround him. And then we see this nightmare scenario that happens in Heeju's head where Yeon-seok gets shot by the killer, by the real
dreams.
Just stop with it. These terrible edits. Oh my gosh.
And then the real Paek-sun just says a word to him and his whole world crumbles. What? Are you
Listen
serious?
to me. Heeju has never spoken about the stepbrother, has never shown interest in the stepbrother. We don't have a scene of her going to the mausoleum or the grave of this little boy and paying her respects and feeling so sorry and missing him and all that shit. We don't have any sort of relationship.
That's a word.
For her. So why does Yeon-seok think, oh my God, I need to fuck off across the world to Argon and ghost her?
You know what I thought? I really thought he was going to say, or it was going to be revealed, that it was actually Grandpa who was killing the kids and framed the real Paek-sun and got rid of him. So he'd feel like, oh my gosh, it was my dad.
That's what I thought too. I thought, oh, maybe that killer is just crazy because he was almost drowned to death by his grandfather. So that's where all the tics and all of his mania comes from. But no, it's not what you said, which was our theory. I guess both of us had this working theory that the old man was the real killer of all the orphanage kids.
Yeah.
And he was blaming it on Paek-sun or just killing his grandchild because he's murderer.
Which to me, would also make sense with doctors, Hajun's investigation and who has seen this ring, and there used to be rich people who used to live here and the orphanage. That would have made sense to me. But all you came to tell me was, it was
he called the hit on
what?
Yeah, no, it was stupid. It was stupid. I would have preferred that he whispered in his ear and said, hey, your dad is the real killer of all of these kids. I've never killed anybody in my life. I'm innocent. You are the son of a murderer.
That would have been impactful.
5 times over. That would have been way better of a gotcha moment in that scene where Yeon-seok's character is just crumbles.
Yeah.
His world is shaken. And he just fucks off for 6 months to do penance in this form of self-flagellation.
Yeah.
Because of the sins of the father thing that a lot of K-dramas like to do. Again, it's very old school.
Yeah.
Very old school.
But I would have taken that.
But I would have taken it. I would have taken that way over, hey, you killed this little boy. Your dad killed this little boy.
So that's not enough to go someone for 6 months.
And it just reduced it. I thought it was a character assassination.
Yeah.
All this growth, and if you can call it that, all this growth over the course of the show of him and her getting to know each other and communicating and really expressing their wants and needs and falling deeper and deeper in love. he just like doesn't think, oh, she's gonna hear about this. She's gonna find out if she doesn't already. And she's not gonna forgive me. She's not gonna be with me. Baby, she ran her motherfucking car off a cliff for you. Of course she's gonna listen to what you gotta say and she's gonna forgive you. She's a ride or die, literally ride or die.
She is.
Like, that bitch is crazy for you.
Which is so wild because she wanted a divorce and, I don't know.
Man, I got mad even in episode 11 with the vignette of what could have been. And it's like this whole Christmas thing. I got mad because, sure, they had a Christmas makeout scene and it was sexy. It was hot. Sure. They were cooking steak in a toaster oven. And I got offended. I was just getting mad at like any little thing in this show by the end of it.
You'd just be triggered because
I
you're
was
just
triggered by
pissed off.
every fucking thing. I was like, is that a fucking steak? Are they cooking 2 steaks in the toaster oven and he burned it?
It could have been an air fryer.
It wasn't no air fryer. It wasn't no air fryer. I was like, did they just put it in there to broil it? Like after cooking it in a pan? And I had all these questions about the stupid steak in this Christmas vignette. Even her nightmare just didn't make no sense either. The nightmare of the police surrounding them. The police just letting the killer shoot Yeon-seok.
What?
I was like, wait.
In what world?
Wait. Yeah. The gratuitous shot of the real Pixon, they show him on television on the news. His dead arm flops out from underneath the sheet. Never. That would never happen on television. Never happen on television. I even got mad at the mom who lost her shit. Pixon's mom. Mm-hmm. Because they show her crying in prison over the arm flopping out. And she's like, oh no, my son is dead. She starts crying. I got mad at her Botox and filler face. I was like, she can't even cry. Then they go, oh, she appealed to get the death penalty because life in prison wasn't enough for her. She wanted to be reunited with her dead son, who's literally the worst problem. And I'm like, yeah, do it. Do it. Give it
I
to
don't
her.
care.
I don't give a shit. And then the male lead disappeared, gave all his assets away to charity. I was like, why? You can live in luxury. There was no corruption.
Honestly.
To be like, this is dirty money.
Why did you need
Why
to do
give
that?
the money away? I'm confused. I'm like, we can go to Bora Bora when you're back, hun. Why are you giving all the money away?
That's
I was
what
getting mad at
mean.
everything. Everything. I was getting pissed at everything. I got mad at her Christmas tree. She had this dollar store Christmas tree, and it just looked horrible. Horrible for a fake tree. I've seen Dillard's have better artificial trees. I was mad. I was big mad in the last 2 episodes because it just culminated, right? Like, I was already frustrated. I was already picking this shit apart. But this is just me writing down notes at this point. I was mad at the 604 area code because he was calling her on a new number from Argon that was 406, and she was putting two together. 406, 604. I was like, babe, fuck off. Fuck off. Then they come and say, oh, he was a war correspondent back in the day. That was if I looked away for a second in episode 1 or 2 and didn't see when they said offhand, yeah, he was a war correspondent. No. Just bringing that back in the final episode. I heard so many people bitching online saying, oh, this was all in the book. This was how the webtoon was written. Argon was in there. He fucked up the Argon. It's all in there. I'm like, babes, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Let me tell you right now. What's wrong is that people don't look at, if you read the book, any book that something is based on, you're going to have all the context. You're going to have everything in mind already. Yeah. And to me, a movie adaptation or a K-drama adaptation in this case should stand on its own.
Yeah.
It's a separate thing, separate entity, separate piece of art.
I agree.
You can't come and tell me, oh, it's all in the literature. I'm like, babe, no, the lit that I saw is right in front of me. And it really doesn't track that he was a spy, basically, and could survive 6 months in a hut in Argon. Okay, he was wearing tailored suits the entire time we saw him. And now he's up here in tactical vests. And yeah, he looks good. He looks good. Great. I guess that's the only reason to put this in here is because he's rocking it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work, doesn't compute. She gets kidnapped another time when she goes to Argon and trying to find him. Maybe this is the one kidnap too many.
Yeah,
Where is she going? What was she thinking?
I was so mad at her.
Even her outfit to go traipsing along in the woods, I was like, I'm mad at that. Are you wearing slacks in the jungle? I was mad all around. Yeah, he basically just exiled himself because he felt guilty for ruining her life. He didn't do shit. Like, he's the victim.
And then he comes back.
Where's the therapy? Like, I need therapy just as much as these characters after watching all this bullshit. She was fine. She heard what he had to say about his dad ordering the hit, and she was like, I'm here. I'm in front of you. There's nobody to punish. You're only punishing me. Come back to me. I have this direct quote. I needed to punish myself. I needed an excuse.
Oh my God. What happened to don't let anyone tell you they don't want you twice or show you they don't want you twice? I don't think she got that memo because the way, you left? After all this shit we've been through, we're done. We're done.
Yep.
The only thing she didn't do was catch a grenade for him. She did everything else. Yeah.
It went too far. And then you get this steamy sex scene in the self-flatulence shack in Argon with some crazy open mouth kissing. And I'm like,
I skipped
too little, too late.
I was so pissed off. I just skipped that whole scene. And I was super pissed off. I remember being super pissed off with the background because I'm like, why does the background look like a live action cartoon? That's not a real background. Like, why does it look like an episode of the Survivor cartoon? Like, I was pissed off. And then I turned it off and I was like, okay, let's go on to Love Scout.
Let's move on. Because I was shocked that he even went so far as to say, I came to Argon because the sunsets, I love sunsets, and the sunsets reminded me of you. There's sunsets everywhere, all around the world. Why you gotta go to Argon in this active war zone or whatever the fuck? Go to Guatemala. Go to Fiji, go to Canada, go to Japan. Like, you can go anywhere and see sunsets and make yourself feel bad.
I think they just wanted to give the folks who have read the book like a token.
He never showed an interest in sunsets before.
Well, he did. He did. There was, his phone background was a sunset.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm rolling my eyes. Can't see that, but I am.
And I think it was because of her. Like, he was watching her through one of like her windows or something like that, and he turns around and he takes a picture of the sunset, something like that. He found a way to link sunsets to her.
Okay.
You sound very skeptical.
Well, I am. It's the same thing as the war correspondence in Argon and all these things that are mentioned just once in passing. Yeah, I don't feel like the sunsets were necessarily a token that I should have held on to. So
no, that's true. That's true. They weren't in the show that much for us to feel like, that's unimportant. That's the sky that he took a picture of when he saw Hiju for the first. It didn't have any significance.
I mean, he should have just went to China where they manufacture phones. Since their relationship really started on the phone.
And they should have continued on the phone.
Oh, God. A lot of, like, just overtly, sickeningly romantic things. Like, he changes his name to Yuyeon, meaning you and love.
I thought that was silly. Because he would have had a name while he lived with the fishing guy.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name then?
What was his name? Second couple babies get engaged. We didn't see any of their romance or courtship. They're just engaged. It's a shame. The mom reconciliation, that again, I don't believe for a second. I don't think it was enough. It was just not addressed that the mom was so
Horrible.
toxic and cruel to Heeju throughout the show. And then at the end, she's just like, oh my God, my baby, she's missing. And then at the end, she's all of a sudden just devastated.
We don't get closure with Dad.
Then one final shove to push us over the cliff is the controversial, what is it, war-torn Ismail
Oh no.
and some other country, I can't remember the other country, which is a conflict all too familiar to us today. It's just just a facsimile for Israel and the
Palestine.
struggles in Gaza with Hamas.
That really pissed me off. And yeah,
There was just no need. It was so controversial. It's such a hot topic. And no matter where you stand on the issue, for the creators to include this was just too controversial as to be stupid.
It was really unnecessary.
So
Actually,
unnecessary.
that knocked it down another peg for me. So I'd give it
3 soju bottles.
yeah, 3 soju bottles.
Somebody told me that the second female lead, that actress, was getting a lot of hate on her social media pages for delivering the lines about
I blame
Ismail.
her.
I'm like, why blame her? She didn't write it.
Yeah.
She didn't write it. That's ridiculous. Get smart, people. It was just too bold and stupid
Yeah.
to have him. And then the whole thing was he was going to negotiate some hostage situation
Yeah.
over there in presumably the Middle East. As an international audience, especially, I think we're reeling. We're just like, wow, what?
Yeah. I remember turning off my TV when I saw that. I was like, oh, you just, of everything, you just had to destroy it, make it go all the way to the bottom for me. Yeah. I didn't like that. I thought it
really cheapened it.
yeah. And the conflict is not something you just say by the wayside and think it's okay and move on. No. You're getting me serious, but let's just say I did not appreciate it and I was very disappointed, but not surprised. They have a way of fucking things up at the end.
It was just very insensitive.
Yeah, that's the word.
They could have made up anything.
I agree. They could have...
North Korea's right there.
Not even North Korea. If they wanted a fictional place, they could have gone to that place in Descendants of the Sun. They could have revived that.
And it's all in the same universe. It would be
a multiverse of, because the way they've set him up at the end, it feels like he could actually be in a new show of Vagabond and it would make sense. So I just feel like they could have done just
or a Vagabond tie-in.
Right?
Shared universe. No, yeah, and I saw some people saying this felt like Descendants of the Sun ending. Babe, Descendants of the Sun ending did it better, and it actually sort of made sense because he was a soldier.
Yeah.
And then he gets captured. He's kind of like this prisoner of war thing with the second male lead of the second couple. He, like, by some miracle makes it back. Okay, fine, I'll take it. It makes sense, like, why he would even be over there. Why he would even be gone. And lest we forget, I think the final scene in Descendants of the Sun is they get an SOS call. There's an emergency. There's a volcano erupting in Canada.
Don't get me started.
And that's where we end in Descendants. That's super out of left field, but...
Nah, you just reminded me, because I was so pissed off. They were like, we're in Vancouver. I think they were supposed to be in Vancouver, and they showed the Seattle skyline, and I got pissed off. I was like, what the hell? What?
Stop it. Also, we've covered Descendants of the Sun on the Daebak feed, so if you want to go back, you can listen to our full thoughts and hear me and Rico just
go into it.
So that's it. Like, that's the show. A happy ending.
Yeah. I love how you said, I don't expect this to be a long episode.
I did say that, and here we are 2 hours later. But we had some shit to talk about.
We did.
Whew, I think I got it all off my chest. Did you have anything else you wanted to add about this show?
It was a ride for 2024, and that's it. I can't. I tried to rewatch it to talk about this, and all of a sudden my brain was like, absolutely not.
Blocked.
What you needed from that time, you got, but
Oh,
you don't need it right now.
there was a season for this show.
And that season is gone.
That season is gone. Yeah, you've benefited as much as you could from this show, and now you're just going to set it down, leave it by the wayside.
Yeah.
The last thing I'll say, and this comes from Time Magazine, and I was like, oh, great point. That same Time Magazine thing that said this was the makjang of the year. They said, it's worth noting that, like the ending of other recent K-drama, Lovely Runner, when the phone rings falls into the magical cure or throwing off the disability trope, which links a happy ending to a character no longer having a disability.
Ooh.
It goes doubly because the sister got miraculously cured, and Heeju also can speak, barely using sign language, and then she decides at the end of the show, I'm going to go back to interpreting.
Yeah.
And really, like, she doesn't have lasting consequences. She's not really disabled.
Yeah.
It's hard when, like, a lot of K-dramas fall into this pitfall of, you know, you got somebody in a wheelchair, you got somebody who's deaf, somebody who's mute, somebody with amnesia, somebody with whatever. They did this in Good Bad Mother as well from 2023. And that really bothered me in that show. And it's a blight, another blight on the show to, as they put it in Time Magazine, this trope can reinforce the idea that disabled people are unable to live fulfilling lives without being cured of their disability. And that's just not a good message.
It's not. It keeps the marginalized on the fringes of society, and it's not a good message to send out.
With that, we're gonna put a stop on this. We're not gonna return to it. I'm sure that Carol would love to hear from you guys. Carol, where can they find you online to talk about When the Phone Rings?
Well, with the landscape of social media right now, I am on Instagram as Kdramas Musings, and on Blue Sky as Kdrama Musings, and you can find me on those two platforms now.
Nice. You can talk to me or Carol about When the Phone Rings, but that's a wrap. That's been our show. Thank you, Carol, for coming on and doing this extensive dress down of When the Phone Rings.
Thank you for having me. I had fun. I'm glad I have the show out of my system, and we move on to the next.
On to the next big one. That's our show. I'm Jessica, and this has been the Daebak K-Rambles Podcast.